There's been so much market talk over the past few months regarding Canada's legalization of marijuana. And I know it gets speculative when my wife's friends start asking her to ask me for tips, when my mother-in-law is playing in these kind of stocks. You start to think that this has really permeated the general psyche. Let's take a step back for a moment. We've seen tremendous run-ups in some of these stocks, Tilray being the most egregious example, lesser extent in Canopy Growth, which did have its run-up somewhat validated by a large investment from Constellation Brands, other names that trade more specifically in Canada, Aphria Health, Aurora Cannabis. So you're seeing these names, and what I think you're setting yourself up for is a big buy the rumor, sell the news. Why would that be? That's just a standard market adage, but it does tend to work. Think about the valuations that are being placed on this industry. At some level, you have to wonder, like, is everyone in the country of Canada going to turn into a pothead? That's kind of the level that some of these things are pricing in. There's, or if you think about it medicinally, it's not a miracle cure. Yes, it's getting a lot of hype. There's a lot of talk. It's definitely an area of focus, and you are starting to see big companies be at least look. We know they're looking at the sector. There was some rumors that Philip Morris was looking at companies such as Aurora. Starbucks actually came out and said we have no plans to be in marijuana. So basically, any company that's already in the, let's call it nicotine delivery or intoxicant businesses, has to be thinking about whether or not marijuana is in their future. But in the short term, these stocks have had such a huge run up that I do worry that we're setting ourselves up for the buy the rumor, sell the news. And what's fascinating to me is we're taping this Tuesday, the day before legalization takes effect, and a lot of people, I think, were expecting today to be the final buying climax, the last run up before the big day, and we actually saw the opposite. Many of these stocks got off to that kind of start and then sold off dramatically. We looked at ACB, Aurora Cannabis, and that stock was up almost 10% in the morning and then down almost 10% an hour later. You've got some wild moves, and I think no one wants to be left holding the bag. So consider this. If you've had a nice run in these things, maybe you should start thinking about profit taking. Maybe you should start wondering whether or not the run will continue. If you haven't been, perhaps you might be wondering whether this is an opportune time to now step in after this story has been discussed to death and hyped over for months. I think what happens is with any of these major events is, the hype fades away and the reality takes hold. We can basically portray anything as far as how we want to look at the cannabis industry in Canada right now. We don't have hard numbers. Within a short period of time, we will, and we have to wonder whether the hype will be sustained. And considering the valuations that we're seeing on a lot of these stocks, you have to wonder whether that's possible, at least in the short term. So don't take any risks that you wouldn't feel comfortable going to sleep with. Take care.